Hey guys!
Hi guys!
It's that time again. Yes, time to bring out my Batman jacket, because I like to keep it classy. Of course, what we're actually talking about is the Funko Awards 2016. How this is going to work is we have 10 questions that we shared on our Facebook community, Funko Pop Hunters. They have some insight.
Yeah, we have some insight.
We're going to kind of get a consensus of what everybody's feeling in the community. So let's start it.
Number 1, best individual pop design of 2016.
This is going to include a lot because basically this question is, what is the best single pop design? That could be sculpt, that could be just overall kind of opinion on what's the best. Some of the nominees from the community and ourselves. Number 1, the Beast. This was actually yours.
Yes, this was my suggestion.
The new Beast that's just coming out. It's fantastic.
This
it's
Beast
huge. Look
right
at this
here.
Thing. It is awesome. It's like no other. They don't even have a real insert on the inside of it.
No, he just has a top and a bottom. He's so awesome.
Really cool. One of my favorites, I don't have it with me, but that's okay, is the Hot Topic exclusive Clark Kent, where he was in his jacket, taking off his shirt, and you can see the Superman logo. That was an amazing pop. A pop we haven't actually done a review on for some reason yet, but it was definitely one of the best of the year. Also, Boba Fett with his jetpack that came from the Smuggler's Bounty Box. I totally agree with you guys. I think that was a fantastic one, and I'm kind of anxious to see where Smuggler's Bounty goes with this whole new dynamic series they're getting ready to shell out. Another one that a lot of people said was Chrome Colossus. So, of course, X-Men, when the first one came out, it was just a regular gray paint job, and everybody was saying, hey, you should make that chrome. It was kind of an obvious decision.
Right.
Well, they did. It was a Hot Topic Kamikaze exclusive.
It was an amazing pop. I'm glad that they finally did chrome because it makes sense, and chrome makes everything better.
Another one that a lot of people voted on was Killing Joke.
Yes!
Of course, that was a New York Comic Con exclusive that went through GameStop. One of my favorite pops, of course, one of my favorite comic books. That's why I actually bought 2 of them, just in case I accidentally smash the other one or something goes wrong. Have a backup. That's how much I like that. Don't usually do that, but I had to.
I don't think we've ever done that.
No, so Killing Joke was, I definitely agree with you on that one. Not necessarily groundbreaking as far as sculpt or anything. I just think so many people were so excited to finally get the Killing Joke pop.
Right, and I feel like when they designed this, they paid so much attention to the comic and they brought in a lot of detail from that into this pop.
It was a great pop. One of the ones that I totally agree with as far as sculpt, new design, just something that Funko has tried different was the Titanfall 2 pops.
Yes.
By far something that I hadn't expected to actually see a pop inside of something. That was crazy. You know, it's not even considered a ride. It's still considered a pop. I think that one definitely deserves to be on one of the best.
It has to be in the top 4 or 5, I agree.
Now granted, of course, they have a lot of different ones, but they're all basically the same thing. Really cool idea. Another one was the Marvin the Martian pop. I got a lot of that, and I assume that they were talking about the Funko shop Marvin the Martian and his ride, which we'll talk about later. Another fantastic pop. The Alien Queen, of course, that's something a lot of people have been waiting for. Big, 6-inch Alien Queen, looks awesome. And then finally, of course, we can't say everything everybody said because, everybody has their different opinion.
Right.
These are all just based on what we saw the most. And the last one was Squirrel Girl from Marvel Collector Corps. I do agree.
I agree. I really like the design of this pop, and it was a character that a lot of people weren't expecting, and I think that that's part of why people were so excited for it.
Something that wasn't necessarily in this list, but I do want to kind of make mention of, which we'll talk about later. The creatures from the Dark Crystal, I think, were once again amazing. The sculpts.
Down,
but we have that coming later on in the list, so we don't want to talk about it. But as far as winner, we have to pick a winner.
I'm going to have to go with the Titanfall 2 pops. I think that the way that they've designed those, that's something that you haven't seen before, and I really love them. Yeah,
I think not necessarily Titanfall. It's not one of my favorite games, and, we didn't necessarily buy it. Right. But I do agree as far as the design and what they've done there is really good.
It's so different.
Number 2, worst individual pop design of 2016.
Now, hands down, the name that we got the most was Shane from The Walking Dead. Everybody hated that pop.
I do agree. I don't think it was necessarily a bad pop, but it was very plain.
It was very boring.
Everybody's been waiting for Shane.
Yes!
I think that's the big thing. And then, of course, it was a New York Comic Con, 2 GameStop. Everybody wanted it, and it disappointed a lot of people.
A lot of people were like, yes, yes! Oh, man, that kind of sucks.
I would have liked to seen the old Shane.
Yeah,
from
me
the
too.
early on in the series, not the older.
And another plain pop that we saw a lot of was Agent 13. The pose was kind of, it was alright, but it was very plain, very just kind of
Yeah, I think that, at least from seeing what everybody's response was, it wasn't necessarily that people thought designs were bad.
Right.
It's they do not like the plain design.
Yeah, it was so boring. And then finally, the third one we got the most was Doomsday from Batman vs. Superman. And I feel like The design of this pop is based more off of the terrible creature design from the movie.
Yes.
And I think that it didn't transition well. Nobody liked it.
What was Funko supposed to do?
Right.
You know,
I mean, you can't redesign it too much.
If you're a Batman fan, if you liked Batman vs Superman fan, we wanted the pop. You know, that was the problem. We wanted it in pop form. And I'm sure that the designers of Funko were like, oh God. Okay, here you go, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it. I know it looks weird, but they want it, so there you go.
We gotta give the fans what they want.
Yeah. So, winner, who should we pick for the worst individual pop of 2016?
I'm personally gonna go with Agent 13. I just thought it was the most boring pop. I mean, the pose kind of adds to it.
Is that because you think the character should have been paid attention to more?
Yes.
Mine would have to be Doomsday.
Really?
I think Doomsday is one of the weirdest. I mean, weird in a cool way, but it doesn't even really kind of fit in a way. Like when you have them up on your shelf, you're like, it doesn't really look like
it's like you want to hide in the background.
Yeah.
Cut their characters.
Like, you know what? Put it in the box and put them somewhere else. We'll just keep everybody else there. So Doomsday has to be the winner for me. But that's just 3. Now, obviously, there were plenty of votes on there. If you guys do want to see what everybody said, we'll put a link down below to the Facebook.
Number 3, the best new series of 2016.
There were a lot of good series.
Yes,
2016 was a different year for Funko because they brought so many
They hit
new
the ground
things.
running in 2016.
If you were an old pop fan, you know that we were lucky to get a new series every month or something, maybe a couple every month, new people, you know, whatever. Comic-Con would come around and you could see new ones. That's what you were excited for. Well, now you get maybe 3 a week.
Something like that, yeah.
It's crazy. Now, we saw a lot. They came in the crazy numbers, and this is what people voted for. Batman, the animated series, I 100% agree. This would have been on my list. I think it's a fantastic new series.
I think everybody was waiting for this series, and then when it was finally announced, everybody kind of like, yes, victory!
And they did good. That's what was great. They landed it. And there's so many characters they could do. I think that's what gets people excited for Batman the Animated Series. Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, we don't play Five Nights at Freddy's. Don't know anything about it, but it got voted a lot.
Yes, it
so
did.
there are a lot of people that like Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, as far as the pops go, very cool looking, very detailed, very creepy, which I think is
so
what they're going for. Lots of different exclusives, which is also good for people that collect them. So that was a good series. Also, the Dark Knight Returns series. So we have a lot of Batman fans out there. That's good.
Right.
I totally agree. I think the Dark Knight series, they really executed that so well. I was scared because, you know, they are shaped, as far as animation goes, they're shaped in a certain way that you think, Funko, I don't know if Funko can actually do this. And they did. And I love it. And I'm so happy that they nailed it. Absolutely love it. Now, something we talked about earlier, the Dark Crystal line.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Just the design of that and taking something that is created by Jim Henson and then trying to transition that into a pop form, they nailed this.
Absolutely.
It was so beautiful.
So our winner of Best New Series of 2016 has to be, for me, the Batman the Animated Series.
Although Dark Crystal is a close second.
Dark Crystal just needs to be talked about.
Just because of the design.
I don't know if it fits in any of these questions, but it definitely deserves to just be kind of shouted out that the sculpts on those things are some of the best things I've ever seen Funko ever do.
Number 4, the most disappointing pop series of 2016. One that a lot of people were super pumped and like unbelievably excited for, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But they kind of
I don't know, this one confuses me. Okay, so I do see their point. I do definitely see their point. I think the line is okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think what I saw a lot of people were complaining about was the paint jobs on them. They were saying that the paint jobs were bad. And I agree. I do agree that it's hard to find a good paint job on it.
It is.
And I don't necessarily think it actually matches the original 3. The designs look a little off. And I really want to talk about something later. We'll talk about it later. And I also want to talk about just say Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I cannot wait for the Alpha 5 coming to Walmart. Unbelievable. That's one of the best pops I've seen, and I can't wait for that. I know Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was voted on, but I kind of want to, just say...
It's a teetering slope, whether it's good or bad.
We definitely need more villains in that, though.
We do. One that I was really excited about because, I'm a Twihard, hello, Twilight Pops. People did not like them.
No.
And I think that a lot of that had to do with the design of them. I'm not sure.
Did they look like them? I didn't think they looked quite like them.
I don't think they did. And, the exclusives, all we really ever got was changing of the eye color, which is kind of silly,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is they were very generic. They just picked, the same kind of character and, threw an outfit on them, changed their color eyes.
Put a hood on.
They didn't put enough behind the series. And that could be because it's kind of over now, right? I mean, not a lot of people are following Twilight anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think Stephanie Meyer is going to write anything else. We'll see.
Think about it. You didn't see a werewolf in there?
No!
Like a full-blown werewolf? None of the family?
There are so many characters in this line, and they change throughout the movies. You could have done so much with it, and I felt like it was just a big flop.
Yeah, I didn't think they picked the right people, honestly.
Another one that always kind of touches a sore spot with people, and that's political pops, and we had the campaign pops for the American election this year.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because people didn't like the people running.
Yeah, I don't think people like the candidates.
I think, though, presidential pops and toys and collectibles, a lot of people do like those.
Yes, they
because
do.
It's a timestamp in history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can have all these pops and everything, and maybe 20 years from now, Batman's going to be around forever. We already know it. You know, so it's just another Batman thing. But you can take a political pop or collectible. You know, there was a lot of different political stuff in there that was really cool, like the Humpty Dumpty thing that they made and everything.
Yeah.
But that's a timestamp. So you can say, I remember this time in the country when this happened. Good or bad.
The next disappointing line was the Fast and the Furious. And I again believe that these pops failed or people didn't like them because the designs, they were very simple and we kind of went with a small amount of characters when there's a huge line.
I don't even think they should have messed with characters. It should have been all pop rides.
It should have been pop rides. It should have had their vehicles. And they all always have different vehicles for the most part. So you could have done so much with that.
Yeah, I don't even think they should have touched the people.
No,
they shouldn't
it should
even
have
touch
been
that.
pop rides.
Pop rides, pop rides, pop rides. And I don't know if they were scared because they wouldn't have maybe sold well.
Maybe.
I just don't know. There are a lot of Fast and Furious fans.
Yes, there are.
I don't know.
And finally, the one that was voted on quite a bit was Suicide Squad. However, I disagree with that because, one, I really liked the movie, and I think that the pop designs are fantastic.
Yeah.
Some people don't like them, though.
The movie might not have been great for you, but I think those pops are pretty good. Like, the designs on those are pretty good, I gotta admit. All the exclusives that came out were pretty decent. Some of them were kind of copycats and nothing special.
Right.
But I thought that was actually a pretty good line.
I liked the line a lot. And the most disappointing pop series of 2016 for me personally would be the Twilight series. I felt like they left off a lot of really important characters, and the exclusives, they just weren't really up to par as to what I was hoping it would be.
I don't know if I really have an answer for this, mainly because all the things that I really wanted, they really just nailed this year.
I think this year was geared for you. It was perfect.
It was geared for me, so I don't really have one. I can say that I think Fast and Furious could have been done, but it could have been done a lot better and sold better as far as that goes. But I don't know if I actually have one. Now, I do see some ones coming out in the future that we can't talk about on the list because it's not coming out in 2016.
They come out next year.
They look pretty
They look terrible.
bad. So we'll talk about that later. Number 5, best pop ride of 2016. One of the absolute best pop rides to come out this year came out on Funko Shop not that long ago, actually, was Marvin Martian and his spacecraft.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
gosh, it was so beautiful, and I love Marvin the Martian, and I'm excited that they finally came out with this.
Unfortunately, it is limited, so they've already been sold and they're gone. So more than likely, you're not going to get another chance to get it unless they come out some weird color or anything like that. But it was a very awesome pop ride.
What's going to happen at Comic-Con, though? They have a tendency to bring out characters with different colors, so maybe we'll get some there.
Is it weird that they made that an exclusive Funko Shop limited item?
A little weird, but I kind of like that they did that because it's such a rare pop anyways. I'm glad that they kept the rarity with Funko Shop.
That's one like overall thing that theme that Funko should really kind of go back to is rarity.
Yes.
That not being rare will ruin everything.
Yes, exactly. Another pop ride that came out this year that I'm really excited about and probably one of my favorites is the Harry Potter train pop rides. I love that Harry is in the engine and then you have Ron and Hermione in the train cars. I think that this pop ride series is so great, and I truly hope that we get more characters on the train so we can continue to lengthen it.
Yeah.
And then of course we need a caboose, but I don't really know who we would put with the caboose.
Well, you know, I think that was important. I think a lot of people wanted that. You know, the Hogwarts Express is huge, and it's like an amazing ride that people would want, especially for Harry Potter fans.
Absolutely.
It's obviously selling well, so it was a good idea. And another one that was voted on a lot was Indy's ride, him and his Jeep. I think that's more because everybody was so excited finally to get an Indiana Jones pop. I don't necessarily know if the pop ride was anything like spectacular.
I don't think it was super special, or it was what people wanted, straightforward and simple.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was what people wanted. And the winner for me, for the top pop ride of 2016, has to be Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, I think it's great, but for me, I'm sorry, Harry Potter will always win and come in first. Number 6, the best and worst Funko Pop box of 2016 and why.
Woo! Here's a loaded question.
This is a doozy and probably should be its own video.
Yeah. So people answer this in all different ways, and basically the question, I think we might not have worded it properly.
Right.
It was for overall box, not necessarily individual box, because everybody has their own opinion, so I didn't really want to kind of go into that.
Right.
You know, some people love boxes per month, some people hate them, it just depends on what you're into. But overall, we would say that the worst for us would be Smuggler's Bounty. And then the best would probably be DC, the DC box, Legion of Fight. Just because we're DC fans.
Huge fans.
Now, let's get rid of, like, those things just because, you know, we're not necessarily gigantic Star Wars fans, but we are gigantic DC fans. So, obviously, that plays a role in our answer.
We always find the good in the DC box.
But what I really want to kind of talk about more is why some of the boxes fail, in our opinion, and then why some of them succeed. So number one, for Smuggler's Bounty, what kind of failed for us is a lot of the pops seem to be very normal. When we buy Funko boxes, when we put our money behind it, they're not cheap boxes, you know, 30 bucks plus. You want something, you know, as a Funko fan, that's who are buying these boxes. Pop collectors, you know. So, you know, for us, we want a pop that is just crazy looking or hard to find or something like just so obscure you would be like, where did you get that one?
Exactly.
That's what I want in a box, and I think the boxes that don't do that are the ones that fail for us, and Star Wars did that for us. To say that, though, that's all going to change because we've seen Smuggler's Bounty is changing what they're doing. They're going dynamic, they're going crazy, and I think we're going to be back on board there.
Yeah, I think we will be, and I think they heard the fans being upset over just the kind of boring pops that they were doing, and now they're like, okay, well, let's revamp this, let's readdress it, and we're going to come back full throttle and make this great again.
It had to be because of sales. I think the sales probably.
I mean, I loved that Flock Chewbacca. I really enjoyed that pop. But it was kind of a simple, straightforward thing. Yeah, there's nothing special about it.
Another note I just want to say that I did like, especially with the Star Wars. So if you guys collect old Star Wars toys, you know that they had like certain figures of those that were really hard to find or rare or anything like Snaggletooth. So the chases that they brought out in that, I liked.
I did too.
You know, I know it sucks when you don't get it. You're like, man, I wish I would have got that, or it was a cool character. Like, say Marvel Collector Corps and Morbius came out. So the zombie Morbius looked cooler than the regular.
It did.
But the zombie Morbius was kind of the harder one to find.
Right.
That's kind of cool to me.
I like that. I wish that they would bring that back more, where you have a version where you get the chase version or you get the regular version, and I really hope they bring that back.
And they did it with Star Wars too. You know, we saw those kind of things. So I'd like to see those back in the fold.
However, if they do that with DC, you might have a heart attack.
I would, but I'm okay with it.
You have to hunt it down on eBay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it because I like rare things.
I do too.
That's the thing. I don't go into collecting to collect everything. If it's easy, it's not as fun to me.
Right.
I don't know. So I would just say that's kind of our opinion.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has their different opinion. That's just our opinion. We like the obscure and the fun, or maybe things that they've taken back from old days, like the Star Wars figures, where they decided to do Snaggletooth with like the red jacket or the blue jacket. That kind of thing. That is fun. That's what I like.
Yeah, and one thing I would like to see them stop doing is sending out all of these pop mugs. I am so sick of these mugs.
So that's another good question. Pushing the other Funko products. That's a question for you guys. I mean, is that something you guys want to see? For me, when I collect the box, all I buy the box for is the pop. I don't, I mean, that's just
the pop and then the T-shirt usually.
Yeah, the T-shirt. Yeah. So you know they are trying to push different lines. That's obvious. It's a Funko box. They want to see what kind of hits.
I like seeing the rock candies mixed in there, and I like seeing other things. But
Dorbs are okay.
Dorbs are okay. I have so many coffee cups, I can't fit them in my cupboards anymore.
And the action figures, they're just not good. You know, I just don't think there's a real reason to have them in there. Just leave it to another company. Honestly, that's just my opinion. Number 7, best and worst exclusive of 2016. Tons and tons of exclusives. It seems like nowadays the exclusives are the normal, and then the non-exclusives are there.
It's like everything is exclusive now, and then occasionally you'll find one rare hidden item. Like,
look, it's a rare without a sticker.
Exactly.
Holy crap! Grab it. It's just so crazy how much the Funko collecting idea has changed since we started.
Right.
Exclusives are rare.
They're very rare.
And they didn't even have stickers on them when we started.
I remember when we were finding chases and we're like, oh my god, there's a chase! We're like swimming through the store, but not now. The employees know what they are, and they're like, oh, there's a chase, I'm going to sell this on eBay.
Sell it on eBay. Now this list is, there's a ton. And
there's a crap ton.
And I feel like it all needs to be talked about. So here's our list, and I'm going to read it to you guys because there is a lot, and I do, like I said, need to talk about it. This is the best. This is what we got off of our Facebook as far as what people are saying. The best. Killing Joke, I agree, you know. The Harry Potter Creature 3-pack, that's what you said.
Yes, it was the Comic-Con exclusive that came out to Barnes & Noble for San Diego Comic-Con. I really liked this. A lot of people were super, super excited. Slightly disappointed in the size, however.
It grew on us.
But it grew on us. I'm like, oh my god, these are so cute. I like them.
Sorting Hat Harry Potter once again.
Oh my god, I'm so happy. I love it. The design of it is fantastic. It's in my top 5 pops.
Barnes & Noble, that's kind of who you would assume would do these exclusives for Harry Potter.
It's based off of a book series. They're a bookstore. I That makes sense.
Barnes & Noble really has good exclusives.
They have some of my
for Harry
favorite
Potter.
exclusives.
Zer Batman. This is one that I know a lot of people are sick of Batman variants. I get it. I get it. But if you're not a Batman fan, okay, I just want to try to help you understand, like, in a Batman fan's idea, why it's okay. If you're a Batman fan, you don't care what the body looks like. That's not that big of an issue. You know it's Batman. What you care about is what the suit looks like.
Yes.
That's what we like, because that kind of tells us, oh, this is from this comic, this is from this movie, this is from that. That is why we like these variants and nothing changes, where it's just a different paint job. So the Zer Batman is a Target exclusive. He's a really cool character. If you guys don't know about Zer Batman, definitely take a look into him, because he is a really cool character. And of course his colors are awesome. You know, orange and purple and yellow, really cool. They literally designed it in 3 weeks and then spit it out in Target.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. I don't even understand what happened there. But now it's expensive to get. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get one in my collection. But it's one of those ones that I want and I might get down the road.
I think one of the great thing about all of the Batman exclusives is you get to take like a walk down memory lane and a walk through Batman history. So it's nice to be able to have them on your shelf.
And there isn't anything else you can do that as a Batman fan.
No, you can't, really.
You know, to have a historical collectible, it's really kind of cool, because we don't have that. You can buy action figures and things like that. But
or a book
Pops,
that kind of tells you through.
That's really cool for a Batman fan. Next was the colored Duck Dodgers. Those come in different exclusives. Funko Shop, you got green, you got blue, you got white.
Yep.
All very cool, very attractive in my opinion. So, you know, I definitely think that does deserve to be on the list. One that I just want to say real quick, I just want to mention because I think it was really cool.
Yeah, I may not know about it.
Necessarily a store exclusive. It was a Fun Days exclusive. They only made 10 of them, but I think it was really cool.
It was awesome.
And it would have done really well if it had come as an exclusive somewhere else. But it was the gold 2-pack of Willy Wonka and an Oompa Loompa.
I love this 2-pack, and if you are one of the lucky 10 people to own it, oh my gosh, you are amazing, and I'm super jealous.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool set. The worst exclusives. This is what people voted on, what they thought. The Deadpool variants. Now, this is, you know, I can't say much about it, right? I'm not necessarily a Deadpool pop fan. I like Deadpool. I just don't like Deadpool pops for some reason. But I like Batman, so I can't say anything bad about it. Yeah, they did make a whole bunch. I think the variants weren't very good, though. I mean, I will say that. But if you're a Deadpool fan, I'm sure you loved them. So I don't really want to kind of go into that. I'm a Batman fan. I love all variants. Deadpool fans, they love all theirs. False God Superman.
I think that this one was just kind of boring. It didn't really fit the needs and the wants of what people were expecting.
Yeah, I think it was, there was 2 things I think is what most people didn't like about it. Number one, the paint job. The paint job was weird. They had all kinds of strange, I know they were going for like the weathered look, but I don't think it actually hit that mark.
It missed the ball.
And then people didn't like that it was the normal Superman pose. They wanted it down on his knee like from the movie.
Yeah.
I understand. Quick on Jen. This one isn't because it was a bad pop. No. This was definitely because, at least what we saw in the community comments, they were mad because it was such an important character in Star Wars, and only have 2,000 of them. That's what bothered people. Now, with that, I do want to say, I understand, but once again, it's important, very important, that if you are a collector of things, that rare items exist.
Absolutely. Without rarity, you don't have the desire to collect, and without the desire to collect, the community fails.
That's important, and I know it sucks. You know, you want that, but that's like the Zer Batman to me.
Right.
You know, yeah, they cost a lot of money, and I might sell 15 of my pops to buy one. But I would do it because that's kind of how that goes. Because
you're a completionist and you want the things that are important to you, and you want the things that are important and rare to be in your collection. So sometimes you have to give up things that you don't necessarily need to get things that you want.
And that's how collecting goes. Right. Another one was a metallic Green Ranger. I agree. Now here's why, and we have the review coming out of this soon. I have so much to talk about the Power Ranger line. Yes. And I'm gonna talk about it in here because I want to talk about it. The Green Metallic Ranger, the Toy Tokyo exclusive. Everybody knows the problems with that. Toy Tokyo is a very hard pop to get. The weird thing this year that happened was that across the pond, you got these things in mass. I mean, it was easy to get them, but in America it was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah, you had
to get them from Toy Tokyo's website. They took forever to sell them. They finally sold them. Of course, they sold out pretty quickly. We were lucky enough to get one.
And then they canceled a lot of orders.
That was a whole mess. But
it was a big mess.
I don't want to bring that in this video. But the metallic green paint on it doesn't look metallic. It's a weird green. I don't even know how to explain the kind of green it is.
I don't either.
It's not
sort of.
You know what it looks like to me? It's like they painted dark green and then like hit it with a very light coat of glitter.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it doesn't look metallic to me. So I understand what you're saying there. Another one, the last one I'll say, the worst, that really bothers me. This wasn't even on the list. I just had to say it. The yellow metallic Power Ranger. And here's why. Here's why. Not the Power Ranger itself. I thought it was awesome. You know, of course, it was the GameStop Black Friday box. We were lucky enough to get one.
We were.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the bear in the room. It didn't exist on her chest. What are you thinking, Funko? Big problem. Now, if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you're not a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan, here's what I'm talking about. These pops are designed after the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie that came out. Now, why we say that is because the toys that came out were metallic. They were shiny like this. And the center of their chest, their power coins, were different in the movie than they were in the regular television series. Hot Topic is coming out with an exclusive Pink Ranger, and you can see that she has her crane in the middle of her chest and not the pterodactyl. The Red Ranger's coming out as well in Hot Topic, and he had his ape and not his Tyrannosaurus Rex. The GameStop exclusive Billy came out in metallic, and he had the wolf on his chest and not the Triceratops. But the Yellow Ranger comes out, but I don't have a bear on my chest. I have a saber-toothed tiger. So guess what, guys? You're going to go through and buy all these metallic variants, and one of them is going to be wrong.
You're going to have an error, and this error is not being fixed.
It's a big problem, and they can't do anything about it.
Nope.
Because it's an exclusive. The exclusive is out. It's over. It's gone. It was the Black Friday metallic Yellow Ranger. They couldn't necessarily come out with another metallic one and sell it on the shelf.
Right.
That would be, like, awful. Like, really bad move. So, whoa, what were you thinking? But this was just a huge undersight to a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger completionist. Woo.
Yeah, you're gonna look at it and constantly be like, oh my god, that just drives me crazy.
Why aren't you a bear?
The best exclusive of 2016, in my humble opinion, is the Harry Potter Creature 3-pack. I loved that we got 3 different little mini characters. I wasn't expecting the size, however, I really do enjoy these, and I hope that we get more creatures in the future.
Now, my best can be kind of, it's too difficult. It's just too difficult. I could just say Batman and be but Killing Joke has to be my favorite, just because I'm a huge Killing Joke fan. I loved the book, and I'm glad to see it.
I love the design of this.
Now, the worst exclusive for me was, it just had to be the Yellow Ranger just because of that mistake. That was kind of a big mistake. I don't want to say it was a bad pop, because it's not. It's really not. And I don't know if anything was really, like, overtly bad this year.
I don't have any that I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was terrible. They dropped the ball. I hate it.
There are many boring ones.
There are many boring ones that
but just don't buy them.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna buy that.
That's the thing, guys. I know a lot of these variants that come out, they're very, not impressive. You know, they just change something here, there, no big deal. Just don't buy them. You know, just don't buy them, because then that'll tell them, let's not do that anymore. We have to come out with something a little more special.
Number 8, the best non-pop Funko item of 2016. Hands down, I think 90% of the people said the rock candies. They love them. I like them. I'm super excited to see where this line's going to go. And I like how they're putting all of the exclusives in the boxes for rock candies as well.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I don't like them. I mean, that's not for me. I'm just saying that's not something I would collect.
If you're not a big fan of all of the girls and the villains and stuff like that are female, then you're probably not going to care for them, because they're only making female characters as of late.
I mean, I think they're cool. I don't think they're necessarily like gender specific of, who's supposed to collect those or anything.
Not,
I just don't really like them. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. You know, I would kind of put it in that mark with their little action figures. It just doesn't do it for me. Now, a lot of people love them, and that's good.
I like them.
Because it's good to have, other lines in the Funko family that people collect. So that's good. It's just not for me. But actually, the best non-pop item that Funko has made for me this year is the hats. I really like the hats. I just think that they should do some different designs, because they've all been the same. They just changed the character on them. So I would like to see different designs, and I think they make a good hat.
Yeah, you do wear their hats all the time. There's no contest here. It's the rock candy for most of the community and for myself.
Number 9, most anticipated line to release in 2017.
I am so excited for 2017. There's a lot of great things coming out there. I'm really excited for the Nickelodeon pop lines that are coming.
Stuff,
oh my god.
I want to see those so bad. That's the problem. I just want to see them. I want to see what they look like.
Yes.
They've been started. We've seen like Pinky and the Brain and stuff. But we really want to see the Rugrats and All Monsters.
Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold. And I don't know if Doug is coming out, but they need a Doug. They need a Quail Man.
Big Doug, yeah.
Mine has to be Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things is such a great series, and I think these pops look fantastic.
I will have them all now. There are chases coming out. They look
we already have
cool.
a plan for the chases.
Yeah, I'm already buying 6 of each in hopes that I'm going to get a chase.
Yeah.
I don't care how much I have to buy them. I'm getting chases. They are too important.
We're going to end up with like 35 regular versions, and then maybe we'll get one chase.
So we'll just start to say, guys, Stranger Things pops for sale. Stranger Things pops for sale.
Let us know if you need one. We're going to have a lot. We have a lot of Harry Potter characters coming out in 2017, and I'm excited to see where this line's going to go. So Community's excited, I'm excited, it's a win-win for me.
Another line a lot of people are saying they're excited for is Gravity Falls. I totally understand, a lot of fans there. Also Kingdom Hearts, I know you're excited about that. Kingdom Hearts, is a lot of people have been wanting that too, so that's going to be a big line.
It's about time.
GameStop's going to tear that up, I think, as far as exclusives go.
Can you imagine, I bet next year on Black Friday they're going to have some really cool exclusives.
They could. They really could. DuckTales.
Oh my god, I love DuckTales. I cannot wait. I'm sorry, I'm like super freaking out over this line. DuckTales was my favorite TV show as a child, and I'm so excited we're going to have DuckTales.
Yeah, I think it's like Chippendales coming out too. Yes. And everything. Like they got all
Rescue
cool
Rangers.
Stuff.
Come on now.
Finally, something that's not necessarily a pop, but will have pop in it. A lot of people said the Disney box they were excited about. If you guys don't know yet,
my
you know we have a DC box, the Legion of Collectors. You got Marvel Collector Corps, and you have the Smuggler's Bounty for Star Wars. They are coming out with a Disney box next year.
Finally! I'm excited for this. I love Disney. Disney is one of my favorite genres ever, and I know it's not necessarily a genre, but it is a genre.
I think it is. I think it is. You know, I think Disney collectors are historical collectors.
Yes.
You know, I think that's the thing that makes Disney so awesome, and what I've heard about this box is that all the pops in it, at least that's what they're saying now, it might change, are going to be Disney park pops.
Oh, that could be a lot of fun.
So I don't know if they're actually going to take characters from, you know, old Disney animations, which I think they should do.
I think they should.
I don't think you should just say, I'm only doing Disney park exclusives, which is great. I think that's going to be great. But what about the people who've never been?
Right.
You know, there are a lot of people who've never been to Disney World, but they love Disney. And I think, you know, you might think about putting other ones in there. One thing that comes to mind for a Disney box, as far as what you could do for characters, I really want to see more of the 7 dwarves.
My god, I was getting ready to say the same thing.
We've only seen what, Grumpy?
Grumpy, that's it.
Yeah, but like I want to see him.
Line.
Like an exclusive that I would think would look amazing is when they're in there like with their pickaxes and they have different jewels and stuff. Well, imagine doing them with their pickaxes, but making them clear in a color like a jewel for an exclusive.
I would love it.
You could do so much there, and that would be a perfect place to throw them. Because Disney fans are a lot like. They're the rare collectors, okay? So when you're like a super Disney fan, they spend big money on stuff.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny because you take like a Hikari. Hikaris look cool, but they're too expensive. We all know it, you know it, I know it. They're just too expensive. Unless you really want them. The one Hikari I always see sell out is Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse always sells out, and Stitch sells out too.
And there's a reason for that. So the #1 most anticipated series for 2017 is going to be the same. It's going to be Nickelodeon 90s.
Yes, it's going to be Nickelodeon in the 90s. I'm so excited because...
Did we say that last year?
We did. We've been saying it forever.
Yeah, sometimes they like say they're going to come out with something that year and they don't. So maybe this is. I hope it doesn't happen again because they need to come out.
I'm gonna flip this table if that's what happened. Number 10. Hey Funko, you should make this.
So this is basically a question for. This could be its own video, and we're not going to go completely into this because it will be its own video. These are things that Funko, and you know, in your opinion, Funko should make. Lines, series, whatever. One that kind of stuck out to me that I saw some people talk about on Facebook was Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Yes, please. That's all I'm going to say. Yes,
we need
please.
It.
The original Jurassic Park. I want the rides. Oh my god, the rides would be amazing. You know, that
box
could be
of raptors.
Oh my god, I want them. I want that really bad.
A line that, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say 2 lines that I personally
All her. This
really
never
want.
showed up in Facebook.
Nobody wants this. Nobody cares. But me personally, I'm a huge fan of Little House on the Prairie and Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. Dear God, there's nothing out there for me to collect except for the DVD sets. I really want a Laura Ingalls Wilder and Alonzo pop. I desperately need them in my life. And to have Dr. Quinn and Sully together, mic drop. I'm so desperate to have those in my life.
You might be the only one. I don't know.
I'm probably the only person on the planet in the universe that really wants or needs them. But I'm just saying, Funko, please.
Another one I saw a lot was Nintendo. Nintendo was the one that came up the most, and I understand, but I don't ever see that happening.
No, probably not.
Nintendo's not going to give their license away, considering they have a lot of like licensed toys, vinyl toys. I just don't see them wanting to get involved with Funko. I don't know. You never know, but I don't see it. Also, Saga. I think Saga needs to come out. Saga would be a good one.
I mean, the design of those pops could be so amazing. The Saga characters are great in the comics, so you definitely could transition that well into pop form.
And finally, I saw some people talk about like film directors and stuff like that.
That's a great idea.
We've seen a few of them come out. This is a line I think Funko really needs to get involved in because it's special. So not just film directors. Get rid of film directors. You know, you can have like Tim Burton and stuff like that, but get rid of that. How about like comic book illustrators or comic book authors? You know, why don't we have a Jim Lee out there? Why don't we have an Alex Ross? Yeah, why don't we have a Brian K. Vaughan? Why aren't those in existence?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to make them large numbers, you know, as far as that goes.
Well, the great thing about these, if these were pops, we're talking about them as if they're real, but if they were real pops, a lot of these different people, they go to comic book shops, they go to Comic-Cons, and if you could take a Funko Pop in there and have them sign it, like I met Brian Cavon at our local comic shop.
I'd like to have one.
Love to have had a Funko Pop for him to sign.
Or when we met Scott Snyder, you know, like those are, you want those so
Yes.
people can sign those. Mark Waid. It doesn't matter. You need those things for those people, and it's important because I think Funko Pops cross over a lot of different things.
They
you
do.
know, a lot of different genres,
They cross
that kind
boundaries.
of thing. They do. You know, you have the collector who just likes the stuff.
Right.
Like, say you're a collector and you're a video game fan. So you collect the Pops just because of video game.
Right.
Nothing else. But there are a lot of people in the Funko Pop community that collect Batman, stuff like that, because they're fans of not only the cinematography, but also the comics.
Right.
So we need those people. I think that's an important thing that Funko needs to get involved in. You know, like we said, Jim Lee, you know, Capullo, Snyder. It doesn't matter. Any of your favorite comic book authors, that's important, and I think they need to do that. So, because of that, hey, Funko, I want to see some comic book authors illustrated.
That's mine too. I have to say that that's what I really want because I'd love to have that as an object to take to have signed to keep in my collection.
Or just to have it with your books. We have a Stan Lee. Why can't we have a Jim Lee?
Right. Imagine, like you said, with your comics. Imagine setting up your pop with your comics in a really nice display. That would look so fabulous.
How about J.K. Rowling?
Oh my God, I would love to have J.K. Rowling.
So hey, Funko, that's what we need.
That's what we want.
No, that's what we need. Not what we want.
That's right.
Alrighty guys, so that was the Funko 2016 Awards. What was your answers? 1 through 10. You don't have to answer them all, but throw them down in the comments. Let's see what you think. Maybe we were wrong on something, maybe we were right on something. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put it in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next year.
Thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.